Welcome to Scaling with Disha, the show that helps online entrepreneurs to scale their business to six figures and beyond without the hustle or the overheads. I'm your host, Disha Waddup, and I'll be here each week to remind you that you can do anything you set your mind to. Hello and welcome back with another episode of Scaling with Disha. I am so excited that you are here. We are on episode 5 and this has been amazing and I'm so excited that you are here again. So thank you so much. Today we're going to be talking all about imposter syndrome. And this is something I've struggled with a lot. I know a lot of other people have struggled with it. So I want to dive into exactly what it is it common? Are you alone? And how can you personally handle it? And some processes that you can put in place to make sure that you have a way to get over this and move forward in your business when this pops up. So if you haven't already subscribed, then make sure you hit the subscribe button and we will dive straight in. So what exactly is imposter syndrome? Imposter syndrome is when you are looking around other people and feeling like you are not good enough, like you are an imposter in the industry, in the space that you work in and what you are trying to achieve. And I struggle with this a lot, and I have always done as I have moved forward. And it has been something that I have had to work on almost every day as I have grown my business. And it is never something that stops being something that I have to work on. However, there are strategies that you can put in place. Now, if you have watched the episode around quitting your job, you will know that I quit my job 3 times, and that had a lot to do with imposter syndrome and knowing that I was meant for something else. I was meant to be an entrepreneur. I was meant to have my own business, but I didn't know what that looked like. And I didn't know if I was good enough to do it. So I really, really struggled. And the fact that somebody was willing to pay me in a traditional job made that all the difference for me and made me realize that I was meant to be doing this and I am good at it and people do want to pay me for it. And that really, really pushed me forward and made me quit my job again. So it is really, really common. And a lot of people in the industry do struggle with this. And whether you've been on Clubhouse recently, there've been a lot of rooms around imposter syndrome. A lot of my friends in the online space specifically struggle with imposter syndrome. And perhaps in corporate, it's not talked about because you have a regular income and you are paid for your job well, but it is a massive topic within the entrepreneurial space, and you are not alone. If you have been looking around at other people, please know that you are not alone in this. This is super, super common. And there are just strategies that you need to put in place to make sure that you are moving forward, because this comparisonitis isn't useful for you as a business owner. It isn't useful for your goals. It isn't useful for your dreams, and it's not going to move your business forward. So how can you really overcome it without that struggle and overwhelm and procrastination that quite often comes with this imposter syndrome? So there are a few things that I do when this hits me and I am looking at other people and thinking they're doing so well, whether that's looking at other people and thinking their Facebook group is growing a bit larger than mine. Oh my God, they're posting in my group and they're selling the same thing as me. What does that mean for me? For me, I come back to abundance. I come back to there is enough for everybody. And if somebody wants to work with them, that's absolutely fine. And that is different to how I would work anyway. And I want to own that power and my uniqueness. So I come back to me. The same when I look at comparing Facebook groups or, how many Instagram followers they've got or what that looks like. And I come back to they may not be full of their ideal clients. They may be vanity metrics. They may not be right. And I need to focus on me and what's happening in my business and the numbers that I have and what is generating income in my business is not those vanity metrics that I'm comparing on other people's accounts. So coming back to me and knowing that I am doing my best in my business and doing what is moving the needle for me rather than looking at other people's numbers and vanity metrics in particular and comparing those things. So make sure that you are holding your own power on that. You can also look at testimonials. So I have a document on my laptop in which I have all of my testimonials. So whether that's video testimonials, screenshot testimonials, any sorts of nice reviews that people have given me is what goes into this folder. And when I'm having that moment of, I don't know if I can do this, I don't know if I'm good enough, what am I doing? There are all these other people that know better than me. Then I go back to that document and look at the feedback that my clients have given me and the results that they've gotten from working with me. And then I am reminded about how awesome I am and how amazing the results have been that my clients have got, and how I know what I'm talking about because my clients tell me that. So having that space of testimonials and building that up as you go through your business is going to be really, really powerful for those days when you don't think you are enough. And that is another thing, limiting beliefs. And this is something that I did within my NLP training and going back through timeline therapy. And I am enough. Just being me is enough. So whether you need to get some mindset work around you and what that looks like, whether that's timeline therapy, NLP, or any of these practices, hypnotherapy, to help you realize that you are enough just as you are, that everybody is going to love you just as you are, and you don't need to change anything, is also going to be powerful. So if that's something that you are struggling with in your life, in looking at everybody else and thinking that you're not good enough, then look at mindset techniques that can shift that, whether that's in an NLP technique or timeline therapy. If you don't know what these techniques are, these are things that I have been certified in delivering, is around shifting those beliefs so that you know that you are good enough to do this. And I believe that everybody is good enough to do whatever it is that they want to do. You just have to have that belief and step into that power on your own. So the other thing is not to look around at others. I see this a lot, and I know I'm a big person in this. I'm always looking around at other people, and I call it Doryitis, when I'm looking around, looking at others and thinking, oh, is that, do I need that? Do I need that? What would that do? Should I do that? And the thing that I come back to is I put my blinkers on and I try and stay really focused in my lane in what I'm doing. But when I say that, I want to make a note on that. Yes, stay in your lane, stay in your blinkers, but also what would the next version of you be doing? If you were further along in the line, what would you be doing? Would you be downloading the freebies? Would you be paying for that software? What would that look like in the next version of you? And how does that impact you? So again, whether you stay in your lane and keep your blinkers focused and know that you have to stay put and make that work rather than looking at all the shiny objects, because I know I've seen it. I've seen my clients do it. I have done it, where you see something and everybody's talking about this one thing that's going to massively change your business, and you go over and it doesn't. And then you do that for a couple of weeks and you're like, well, this hasn't massively changed my business. It must be this process or this system or this procedure that's not working. So I'm going to go and have a look over here. And then you keep flickering between one other and the other and the other and the other, and you don't stay with anything consistently and nothing moves forward. I know that I have listened to so many podcasts and so many people talk about their journeys and how many times it has taken them to launch and launch successfully, because you learn something new every time. So doing the same thing repetitively means you are going to learn how to do it better and more consistently and stronger and get more ROI and more conversions and more sales all the way through if you stay with that one thing rather than creating lots of different things and never sticking to the same process. So Focus on what you are doing and stop looking around for that shiny object. That is really going to help you overcome this imposter syndrome if you're not looking around at other people in the first place. You can also start to focus on how far you have come. So this is a really powerful strategy that I use, is when I look back at what I've achieved and how far I have come from where I started. So when I started my freelance business back in 2016, for example, house sitting, and where I am now, and the income differences, what I've achieved in my business, and how I've changed everything to step into the new version of me each time and up leveled consistently. And what I spend now on coaching and systems and processes and staff and teams would not have even touched the surface on what I was like back in 2016 when I started my business. And again, in 2012, when I originally had the idea of leaving the UK to do something a little bit different, has been completely different again. So look back at how far you have come on your journey, and know that if you hadn't have made those choices and those decisions, you wouldn't be where you are now. And you are, wherever you are now, you are definitely further along than you were a year, 6 months, or even a week ago. You are moving forward on your journey. So just know that that is happening, and take a time to look back on what has happened for you in the past. The other thing is, or the final thing I want to touch on, is focusing on your goals, knowing that what you want to achieve and what that looks like for you. So again, stepping into your version of you in the future. You can do that when you know where you are going. If you don't have goals, you don't know where you're going. You cannot move forward in that. You can't say, yes, I am taking this step because this is the goal I want to achieve. You are then backtracking yourself and questioning yourself. Whereas if you know the goals, if you know what you're aiming for, then hitting those things is going to be so much more easier if you know what that direction looks like. So focus on your goals, whether you write them down, whether you visualize them, whether you have them where you can see them, whatever that looks like for you, make sure that you're doing that. And there's an episode next month going into mindset, and I'm going to talk all about this. So make sure you hit the subscribe button if you do want to talk about goals and mindset and issues around that, because I have so much to share on that topic. But find something that works for you. So whether that is writing those goals down every day, or that's having those visions or meditations, whatever it is that works for you, stick to that. And make sure that you stay consistent in that. So knowing those goals and having them around you in a way that works for you personally is going to be the thing. Make sure you know your goals. So I just want to recap on some of those things that we've talked about today on imposter syndrome. So for example, testimonials are going to be your friend. Make sure that you have a document somewhere you can refer back to, not looking around at others. Keep those blinkers on. Don't be Dory. Keep your one track mind. Focus on how far you have come, and make sure that you are not comparing yourself with other people, but you're comparing yourself to your own version of you a year ago. And focus on your goals and your future. Please let me know in the comments and the feedback if you are struggling with imposter syndrome and how you personally deal with it, if you have dealt with it, what that looks like, and if you need help with imposter syndrome, then absolutely come and join the Scaling with Disha Facebook group and let us know in there. We can absolutely help you with any mindset shifts that you need to make within this space. I want you to own your special, unique power and step into that and scale your business with confidence and sass and experience. So go forth and own that. And I will see you here next week. We're going to be diving into when is the right time to look for help in your business. And I cannot wait to share with you some things that I did in my business when I first started out, and give you some systems and processes to really step into the next version of you in your business as you scale. Have a
beautiful day, and I will see you back here next week.
Thank you so much for tuning in today, and I really hope that you genuinely learned something from today's episode. If you found this episode useful, then please hit the subscribe button and leave us a review. I personally read each and every one. Until next time, bye.